So it's not actually becoming commercial property, it's just that they'll have a special use permit because they are residential property.
Yeah, now since it's a scenic highway, I don't think we can have billboards now, can we anymore?
It's nothing to do with billboards, that's, it's the DEC. It's DEC park guidelines. Yeah, billboards that are falling apart, dilapidated, or ordered to take down, they're not allowed to be rebuilt. That's since 1986.
Well, mine was, the letter came from DOT. And there was nothing wrong with my billboard, it was in excellent shape. And when I see some going down the road, they collapse it. And they, they're still up.
Now, if they wanted to use it to possibly work something out, to use it to, identify their, the pipes are still in the ground, I don't know if that would help. Our biggest fear is if you go on Google Maps around here, our driveway, somehow someone has it down as Webster Avenue. So I'm just worried about people turning into our driveway thinking that is the ropes course instead of the actual ropes course. Like people, for whatever reason, you look on Google Maps, it's not really on like Apple or, stuff like that, regular maps, but on Google Maps, it has our driveway as Webster Avenue leading up to our house. So like we're worried about people turning in there. Do we have to put more gates and stuff like that? As you're coming around that sweep and turn, there's not a big turn around if you miss the turn. So, that's our, biggest fear, getting the people into the proper driveway without, using our driveway, and then we have that second, entrance to our driveway that we have a chain across. That's our, concern right now.
Mr. Torino, that letter from the DOT, did they say that it was maybe partly on their property?
No,
No, not at all.
it's not on it, it wasn't on their property.
It just stated that there was no commercial property, in the area, and that we weren't able to have the billboard, but the billboard was, was there since the water company owned it before us.
Oh, at the beginning?
Yes.
Yeah, they was digging in spring,
Yeah.
also our father.
Yes.
That number was quite a bit shy.
For that, yeah, that would be a great idea, to put a billboard up for that.
It had electric, it has its own meter, it had electric lamp with a light. The poles are still in the ground, the billboard's still laying, it would just have to go, right, we just dismantle it, we didn't destroy it.
Oh, they're saying that the sign wasn't registered with them. They're saying that it's a New York state law that any outdoor advertising within a controlled area shall be registered with the Department of Transportation, and their records indicate that this sign is not registered.
Well,
That-
we inherited that from Big Indian Water Supply.
Oh. You might have
So,
been, if you
it's
would have
20 years.
contacted them, maybe you would have been able to register it and keep it up.
Is there anyone else that wants to speak concerning the road course? Hearing none, motion to close the hearing?
I make a motion to close the hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we move on to our bike rental. And I have to recuse myself since I did the parking survey of it. sake of the public here. Anybody have anything after last time? No. Okay, go ahead. You're on.
I'm on? So basically, I just want to try and rent some bicycles to start with, scooters, I hope. Out of the garage, maybe since we last spoke, we had the last meeting, Declan, you know, the liquor store,
Yeah.
he has that Mama's Boys lot. So he's offered it to me while it's empty. And I've already got the sign company trying to make some, just a mock, you know, so far we're trying to figure it out. I'd love to be able to do it out of there, period, you know. But he may rent it out to someone for $50,000 a month, I'm just kidding, but, and then I'm out. So, you know, so I'd like the option to be able to just put up a tiny little sign somewhere in the garage. And really, the amount of traffic that's there on weekends going to the park anyway, I mean, it's like I want to just stand there and hand out flyers to everybody, you know? And I think that alone is, you know, I don't foresee too many people coming there, you know, just for, I don't know. I'm really not sure how it's going to work. And if it's at all a disruption to the neighborhood or to the neighbors, I will do something about it. But I'm hoping it won't in terms of the parking there. Let's face it, I mean, on a weekend, sometimes I have difficulty getting out of my driveway. You know, it's packed anyway. There's no room to park. So, hopefully it won't disturb anyone, and I'd just like to have that option available, you know, if someone comes there, so I don't have to take the bike and go to somewhere else, or, you know, or even if I leave it out there on Declan's property, I have to bring him back every night, you know, unless I figure out something, you know, I'm not sure how I'm going to do everything yet, it's all just happening. But it would just be nice to have that option. I would rather not do it, and I think that's like an amazing spot for me for exposure and everything, you know, so there'd be no reason to really, but it would be nice to have a little sign just for all the people that walk in the park to know that this is available in town, you know. And so far I've had a few bites on the bicycles, and people are just loving them to death. And I think it's a good little thing.
And I saw that you have 3 bikes on the lawn at the Phoenicia Pheasant.
At the Bell.
The Bell.
Yes, yes. Actually, I have one there, but the other 2 were rented yesterday.
Oh.
If it was
They weren't
yesterday,
the motorized ones, are
they are the motorized, the bicycles, right?
Right, so
Yeah.
you are renting the motorized ones.
Yeah. The
Now-
bicycles are okay. I'm having problems with the scooters.
Oh, it's a scooter.
See, I have little. Yeah. So I've got the bikes. The bikes are all good. I've got my insurance. Everything's good. It's the scooters I'm having a
Oh,
problem.
these look like little,
Vespa type
Vespa,
things.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have any more of those?
I have 10 of those. Oh,
No,
the flyers, you know, I'm so stupid, I should, you know, no, I don't, I'm sorry. And even that just happened to be in here, thank God.
because I actually did see you on
Yeah.
the motorized bike.
Oh, okay.
At Phoenicia, I saw
Oh, okay, yeah. So, yeah, I keep one, there's one by the bell, Thomas let me do that with a little sign.
Right.
And then there's one outside Declan's, and then there's one outside the Phoenicia Country Store. So I've got 3 of them out there just for some exposure right now. And yeah, the other 2 you saw with people who rented them actually, yeah. So, yeah.
You have any? You did?
Mr. Winfield? All right, a minute.
I was told I
You
had
can sit down.
I was told I have a big mouth, but I can talk in the mic. I own the Phoenicia Post Office in the lot directly in front of this gentleman's house, and my concern is parking. I commend any small businessman that wants to open a business, but I don't want my lot to turn into a parking lot and have to put up stones or signage, because when I get a phone call from a town father or a town mother that needs parking for Shandaken Day or the firemen, I like to say yes, because it's a step-off park to place to park to celebrate in Parish Field. So that's my concern, is parking, and I just don't want my land to turn into parking. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How big is that lot in front of his place? It's hard to tell where one ends and here's you, Rory.
No. Where's
Here's him.
Here's the church.
where's this front sidewalk?
Here's the, it's right here.
The sidewalk.
Here's his garage,
Here,
yeah.
Look at it this way. His sidewalk is on my line. This goes right through.
It says something about a 3-foot right away.
Well,
Yeah, but what's that?
that's Main Street. Over here, this is the post office, right here. This is his house. This is the separate lot, and this goes right up to the road, where you turn in to get to Parish Field. So, he's got 3.
You are Shandaken Development?
That's correct.
Oh, I thought you were.
No, Shandaken Development. This is me, right here. I'm that mode, it looks like he's got a giant front yard.
Yes.
That's my land. So that's my concern is, I come up and people will say, I'll just park here. And, which I did let that happen when the library burnt down. And at the time, they're using I think the building is now the ambulance place. I had no problem. But when the library went back to Main Street, what I found out was people were just driving onto my land and doing U-turns and coming back out, and I ended up having my water turnoff got run over and bent over. You know, small stuff. It didn't bother me, but I was forced to put rocks up. And I don't want to do that to the other side. And that's my concern, is the parking. Because if you have 3 parking spots, I don't know. So that's my concern.
Okay.
Thank you.
Carrie Henderson?
Hi. I'd just like to welcome our new friend and welcome to the neighbourhood. And I've known Mary for years and years, who owned the house before, and so I know the property very well. I owned the house at 93 Main Street, and part of my backyard abuts your
That's
property.
right, we met once
Yeah.
at the supermarket.
Yeah,
That's right.
Well, and you told me about your bikes and scooters. I
yeah,
thought it's a very cool idea.
Yeah.
I've just we spent a bit of time in Florida, and they have a lot of bike trails and stuff. And these scooters are awesome. You know, they're environmentally sound and they're great fun. And so I support you all the way in what you're doing. I think it's great for the town. I think it's great for tourism here. I want to do it myself.
Thank you. I think it's a genius idea, honestly, but
yeah, it is, and you know, and it's happening all over the country. It's a new thing. It's awesome. Just as far as the parking's concerned, I think there's going to be a lot of. I mean, you're talking about something that's very, very small scale. I mean, the parking there gets slammed anyway, as you know, at the weekends. I think a lot of people are going to be just walking in the park.
Walking to it, that's what
And,
I think.
you know, walking around town, and they can always be told, don't park there, you know, you're going to come park somewhere else and, you know, and stroll back there and have a look at the bikes. So, yeah, welcome and good luck.
Thank you. And hopefully, may I just say something like that? Hopefully I'm going to get it to a stage where it's going to be on an app and the bikes can be pretty much anywhere. People will know where they are, can unlock them, you can, you know. So it's not even like they have to come there to get them. So,
They do in the city.
yeah, yeah. I've actually already got that developed. I just haven't had the time to really put it all together yet. But I have the software already and stuff.
Christian Smith?
So I live across the street from Rod at 1 St. Ursula Place, and I just want to echo what these guys are saying, that my biggest concern is the parking. St. Ursula Place is a very small street. It gets slammed on the weekend with people using the park and hiking. So I just want to just voice a concern that and I've talked to Murad about this too, but it's there's a lot of kids on that. I have a 3-year-old daughter myself who uses that street, and I just want everybody to be aware that parking is already an issue there, and it could be an impactful issue for the people who live there. Thank you.
Bob Cow?
I just have one question. These bicycles is one thing, but these are motorized bicycles? Are you going to be required to carry insurance to cover these people that are riding through town on these motorized bicycles?
Mr. Hergy just said that he has insurance on the motorized bicycles. The other thing, the scooters, that's another story. He doesn't know which way that's going.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll know tomorrow when I go to DMV. I've actually done 2, but this is my 3rd thing at DMV, and it's complicated, so I'm going to go tomorrow, and I'm trying to get 2 of them at least registered and insured. I've got them insured. I hope everything works out right.
How do they treat them?
And how many bikes do
They
you
are
have?
treated as, I have 10 bikes and 10 scooters.
You have 10 and 10,
Yeah.
okay.
They're treated as 50cc moped kind of things, where you just need a driver's license. You don't need a motorcycle license for them.
No.
I think they're a class B or something. There's an ABC, and I'm in between somewhere, between the no registration and registration side. Do have to get them registered, and I do have to have them insured. I have to have them doubly insured, actually. So that's the whole mess I'm in right now. But hopefully I'll be able to do it. I mean, Harley Davidson is renting out motorcycles, you know. So I've actually even tried to contact that company, because you can't call Harley Davidson in Kingston and get a motorcycle. You have to call some place called Eagle Rider or something like that. And then they arrange it for you. So I'm trying to even get a franchise with them so that I can work through them, do whatever I have to do to get those scooters going, because I'm sitting on a lot of money doing nothing right now. And yeah.
So, Mr. Hergy, are you running your business out of the house, at, like your office? Because I would think that if your office was somewhere else, then there wouldn't be a parking problem. With Declan, he's just gonna let you put the sign, you're not
Yeah.
renting?
Oh no, I can actually put the bikes out there. I'm actually, I've been a little confused. I wonder if people just seeing one bike somewhere saying rent me, thinks there's only that one bike available. Really, because I'm just not getting it why it hasn't caught on a lot more also.
Right.
So then that's when I spoke to Declan, and he's like, listen, I got this spot here, it's just sitting doing nothing. So this way I can just put them all out there. People can see all of them. put a nice sign, whatever's allowed, you know.
So is that what you're gonna?
That's
going to do?
definitely what I'm gonna do to start with.
Okay.
Now, if Declan tomorrow sells the place, rents the place,
Then you'll be out.
and the other person doesn't want it in there, then of course I gotta go. And that's the deal I made with him.
So then there is no issue.
In the beginning, no, yeah.
That's the first I've heard of it.
Yes, this just happened, literally, like 2 days ago, and I'm sorry, I should have, but,
I have a question, sir.
but then, the reason I'm really, you need to do, I need to get the permission is, so that if that does happen, then I have my backup plan, basically, right? And that I can also put up a little sign just for people who are already going into the park, not for new people coming in, just so that they know this exists, that's all.
I have a question.
Yeah,
I'm a little confused.
okay, so am I.
Are you going to rent the property from Declan and have that piece of property be the location of the business? Because if in fact that is the case, Declan has parking behind it.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
And it will not be an issue at your property.
Oh.
Or anybody else as well.
Oh, yeah. I can, actually I talked to him about, because I have a limo, and once in a while if I have to do jobs around here, I talked to him about whether I can park it in his parking lot, and he was like, fine. But I'm sure he'd be okay with that. And
So-
yes, honestly, at this point, he's not renting it to me, he's offered it to me for free.
Well, that's up to you.
Yeah, no, I just want to tell you where it's at.
Location of the business is
and
not going to be at your house then.
Not to start with, not
It's
to.
going to be at Declan's.
Correct. But if somebody walks through the park, sees the sign that, hey, bikes, and they somehow call me, and they're right there anyway, and,
Right.
I guess it would be okay for me to either, if all the bikes are collectors, then I'll take them there. But if there's a couple in the garage, I can say, hey, here, look at it, this is it, you want to take it,
I think you're going to have to make up a decision here,
Where
Or
you-
one or the other.
where your business is going to be.
I-
If it's gonna be a Declan's, then he's gotta come and apply for the special permit. He has to do this all over again.
And then you're going to have to speak to the zoning officer about the size of the sign, the location of the sign.
Right.
Whether it be orange or not.
Okay, so let's make it my place. And, God,
Well, making it your place makes it difficult.
Right.
Because you don't have the park.
but can't I tell people they can't park here?
Well, that's nice, except it doesn't really work that way.
Yeah.
Right.
I think
See
what
how
you
it
should
goes
do at
first.
this point.
Sorry?
You can see how it goes first. See how many people actually park to rent the bike.
Yeah, I really don't see much of that happening, honestly, that people come in with cars to park, to pick up the bikes, but but there is a concern, it can happen, right?
Why don't you talk to Declan and get that straightened out and see if that might be the better approach for you, just to see-
Or if I did my place and got permission from Declan to tell people if you need to park, go park at Declan's.
See, there's the theatrical society is there, that people park in that lot, people park when they go to get something to eat, so
Mhm.
there's gonna have to be a clear understanding, you can't have every business in town say they can park there, I mean, we'd just be moving the problem over to the next lot.
Mm.
I would ask, can we restrict him? So I go to Rio's, there's parking in the back, which is shared by everybody in town. If I go to the library, I park anywhere in town and walk. So why should he be restricted because he doesn't have parking? I realize it's a new business, but.
Yeah, we did talk about this kind of last time, that, where can they park, and I said on Main Street or whatever, wherever else. I mean, it's not like people who go to the park are not allowed to park there either, right? I mean, it's really packed anyway.
Well,
I don't think there's another spot available on
No,
weekends.
there isn't.
Regardless,
But what
So,
I'm saying is,
yeah.
if you have all your bikes on Declan's property,
Right.
then park almost anywhere that they can
Right.
find to park.
Right.
Not necessarily
Right,
at your house.
right.
But you have to decide where you're gonna run this business from.
Okay. It totally makes, at this stage, it totally makes sense for me to start at the Declan's because of the exposure,
Okay.
right? So in other words, I cannot start on Friday putting bikes on Declan's property.
Well, Declan has to come to
Yeah,
us.
Declan would have to apply.
Yeah, we'd have to apply for a special use permit.
Oh, I see.
See, when a new business opens in town, we open the ordinance and we look, and it says this specific type business requires a certain amount of parking for seats or
Right.
for square footage or whatever.
Mhm.
Now, I don't know how we would interpret bike rental, but that's a new one to me, you know? For required parking spaces, for any business, not just your business, but
Right.
for any business. For example, Rio's. There's a certain amount of seats in a restaurant that requires a certain amount of parking places. So, I guess that would have to be a good determination of his own, so what he thinks would be a reasonable amount. If you have 20 bikes and each person comes in a car and so many cars.
Right,
and
which
four
is
people
mostly,
come-
very unlikely, right?
But I'm just saying,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
if 4 people come in a car,
Right,
then you
right, then
need
you have one, yeah.
And I do think most of the people will probably walk.
I really think so. I think it's for people who really are going to be coming up on a bus who don't even have a car.
Yeah, that's enough.
Honestly, I really think that's where this is going to work. You know, it's so many. You know, this morning when I put the bike out at the Phoenicia Bell,